So let's go on to just a few more types of angles. So alternate interior angles, I'm going to go ahead and just make little lines so that you can kind of see what each one looks like. So when we talk about a transversal, the transversal is the line that cuts through two other lines. So I'm highlighting the transversal for each one of these. So alternate interior angles are inside between the two lines that it's crossing through, and they alternate on either side of the transversal. That's what it's called. So I'm going to mark that as 1 and 2. So those are examples of alternate interiors. Alternate exteriors are the same idea, except it's on the outside. So outside is like over this way, right? So if I say this is 1 right here, if I alternate, if I go on the other side of the transversal, this would be the alternate exterior angles. Corresponding angles are on the same side of the transversal. So this is right here, like that one, and then this one. But notice they're on the same side of the transversal, but one's inside the two lines that it crosses through, and one's on the outside. Same side interior means that they're both on the same side of the transversal, but they're also both inside. So like that. Inside. And it can be on the other side as well. So I like drawing pictures, and then we're going to see if we can identify all of the alternate interior, exterior, and so on for this one. So alternate interior, let's start with that. So remember, we're going inside, so 3 alternates with 6 right there. So you'd say angle 3 and angle 6 are alternate interior, interior angles. But you could also do angle 4 and angle 5 right here. Because those are likewise inside, but alternating on both sides of the transversal. Okay, let's go to alternate exterior. So same idea, except for it's on the outside. So we've got 1. So that's on the outside of the two lines, so L and M. And then 8 is on the other side of the transversal N. So we've got 1 and 8, so angle 1 and angle 8. And then we'll do black for this one. 2 is on the outside. Matches up with 7. So angle 2 and angle 7. Okay, now I'm going to clear all these out because we need to go to same side interior. So same side interior is kind of, remember, you go into the same side of the transversal. So once again, this is the transversal right here. So 4 is on the same side as 6, and they're both inside the other two lines that they're crossing through. So we'd say angle 4 and angle 6. The other two would be 3 and 5, because they are both also inside of L and M, so between those lines, but on the same side of the transversal. Okay, corresponding, let me erase that, and once again, here's our transversal. So corresponding angles will be on the same side of the transversal, but one will be in the outside of the double lines, and the other one will be in the inside. So angle 2 and angle 6 are an example, but then so is 1 and 5. Now there are more, because I just picked those ones right there, but if I go to, let me erase those, corresponding has a lot. So you could do 8, because that's on the outside, and 4, so those are also, I'm going to put 4 and 8. And then also 7 and 3. Angle 7 and angle 3. There you go. All right, so for the rest of this lesson, we're just going to talk about how you know if there are parallel lines. So what I mean right here is if these angles, or if these lines that's crossing through are parallel, I want to know which ones are actually going to be congruent. And it's actually every single one of them except same side interior. Okay, so Corresponding angles will be congruent. We already know vertical angles. I'm just going to put that down. Alternate interior and exterior are congruent. So supplementary angles, meaning they add up to 180, would be your linear pair and the same side interior. Sweet. So that's important to know, but just so you know, this is only true if the lines are parallel. So for instance, look at this number 7. Here's my transversal. Here are my two parallel lines. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to figure out what these other angles are. Sorry, I just had a moment. I couldn't remember what we were doing. So for number 7, we have one angle given to us, but we've got to find every other angle listed here. So I'm going to write it over here. We've got to find the measure of angle 1, the measure of angle 2, the measure of angle 3, the measure of angle 4, measure of angle 5, measure of angle 6, and the measure of angle 8. Notice there's no 7. That's because this 98 degrees is supposed to be 7. So we got to find each one of those. So what I like to do is I find the ones that are all going to be congruent to that specific one we have. So we have 98 degrees. So vertical angles are congruent. So I know 6 is 98 degrees. And then alternate interior. So this one, 98, is an alternate interior with the angle 2. So it's also 98 degrees. 2 is vertical to 3. So I know those are also congruent. And that would be it. So the rest of them, if you look, are all kind of smaller. They're not as wide. These ones are all the same angle. So we find that by looking at for a linear pair. So this right here forms a linear pair. So to find angle 5, I'm going to subtract 98 from 100 degrees. And I get 82 degrees. So this is going to be 82 degrees right here. So that means everything else I have is going to be 82 degrees. I forgot to highlight the 4.